Welcome to O-Talkin' with Dave. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? I hope you're great. I am top shelf and ready to go. The phrase, and I've heard it a lot, life just isn't fair. Life isn't fair. We're going to talk about that today. I don't like it. I really don't like that phrase. I don't know why. It's always bothered me a bit. So we'll walk through that. And I thought, what can I name this thing? What could, life isn't fair. That's telegraphing what we're talking about here. So one thing, I thought of other things like just different. That nobody owes you a level playing field. A little too long. Fair's a place with corn dogs and rides. Now that's a little uplifting. Corn dogs, bacon wrapped turkey leg. All those games you pay a fortune for and you get a little toy, maybe. All that stuff. The fair. Love the fair. Maybe that's why I don't like the phrase, life isn't fair. I don't know. I think the best thing is get over it and get on with it. Or fair is a myth. What does fair mean? So that's why I wanted to talk through this, because a lot of times that is used as a scapegoat. Life is not fair. That's a lazy way to deal with things. Just to say, it's just not fair. It's almost like you're giving up. Sometimes I hear people say, life's not fair. It's lazy to me. People try to sound wise. Is that supposed to be a comfort? Life's not fair, so suck it up. I believe, suck it up, buttercup. You know that. But it's just a half-hearted shrug to people when they've either given up themselves or they're trying to get you to give up, or what's the use? Because fairness, kind of like beauty, it's in the eye of the beholder. And to me, we've got to keep looking for the beauty, not the fairness. What feels unfair to one person is, hey, that's another person's unanswered prayer. What is that song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayers? Because sometimes we don't need to get what we think we want, even in the case of fairness. But here's the problem. Fair isn't real. The fair is. It's very real. You can catch communicable diseases there and get a foot-long corn dog in each hand. No place to hold your churro. That's why you take people to the fair with you, to help you carry your stuff, because fair food is wah. But anyway, fair, as in fairness, it's not real. It's a feeling. And feelings are liars. They'll lie to you because they change. You can feel differently in the drop of a hat. Okay, it's fair. Oh, no, it's not fair again. Oh, it's fair. Oh, please. Come on. What matters isn't what feels fair. It's rather are you playing your hand? You're dealt cards. How do you play that hand? Are you learning? Are you having a few bad hands and learning to play? Are you just folding every time? More on that analogy coming up. But to go back to what is fair doesn't mean equal results. No. Perfect conditions. When do you have perfect conditions? You look in retrospect, a lot of times they're better than you thought they were. Or fairness doesn't guarantee comfort. So fair is a moving target. Fair means actually everybody gets a chance to try. What more can you ask for? Give me a shot, man. Give me a chance. Everyone faces consequences for the choices they make. I think that's fair. I don't like it when it's bad. However, everyone faces that. That's fair. And then everyone has the freedom to respond to tough times or adversity with effort, growth, toughness. Sometimes it takes that to get tough. Hey, that wasn't unfair. That was part of my learning curve. It doesn't mean everything goes your way. Oh, please, you show me where somebody says everything goes their way. I'll show you someone who is lying, or they're not aware of everything that went on behind the scenes. Fair means doing the best with what you've got. That's what counts. That's what counts. A lot of times when people say life isn't fair, you're right. Life isn't perfectly fair, but no one was ever promised you fair. My granddad, my mom, my dad, they never promised, hey, you're going to get a fair shake. Yeah, life is fair. To be transparent, they never said life is unfair. They didn't say that. They would have given up long ago. But no, they modeled the behavior of, here's the hand we're dealt. We got to learn to play it. However, opportunity is fair. You get a chance, you have the same opportunity as somebody else. Now, I know you're thinking some things, and I'm going to get to them. I promise. Responsibility, that's fair. Okay, things that aren't your fault are still your responsibility as you grow up. And I'm talking about mature adults now. I'll get to childish behavior in a second. Also, you know what else is fair? Character. Your character. They say tough times or unfairness builds character. No, it just reveals it or a lack of it. So these things show up every day. Opportunity, responsibility, your character, all of these things show up every day, whether you consider or anyone considers the situation fair or not. But that life is not fair mindset, calling it out, it's just rooted in immaturity. I'm not getting what I want. I didn't get my way. And clinging to it, it keeps people stuck. Anybody that says it over and over, okay, you can tell their mindset. That's not fair. What? If you're over, 12, you shouldn't be saying that. You can talk about fairness, acting in the spirit of fairness here. I've done that in policies with corporate situations many times. In the spirit of fairness, here's what we need to do. But that's not fair. I didn't get what I wanted. Wah, just a crybaby. Pouting. Stick your lip out and cross your, I can see it. In a child. At its core, that phrase sounds like a child just stomping their foot because someone else got a bigger scoop of ice cream. And in childhood, that's understandable. That's part of it. But you're still learning how the world works. I don't think there's a lot of children listening right now. We're having a resurgence too over in the of listeners over in the Netherlands. I don't know what's happening over there, but man, they're listening. Shout out. I'm going to learn to pronounce your city's name, but one city in particular is killing it. You don't worry about fairness, do you? Nah, you take the best. You make the best of what you get. But in adulthood, repeating, that's not fair, as an excuse, man, that you might as well hold up a sign because everybody sees this person is emotionally immature. However, the hard truth around all of this is life doesn't hand out trophies for feelings. I remember, goodness, I've said it over and over. I think the beginning of the downfall was when they started giving participation trophies. Participation trophies? What? Yeah, you play just to get the trophy at the end of the year and you know you're going to get it. Oh, not in my day. Not in my day. Boy, I sound like an old person right now. But, feelings. We can't not give out trophies to everybody. That could hurt somebody's feelings. Okay, that wouldn't be fair. Oh, please. I just did a one, and I hope you listen to it, talking about weak parents raise weak parents, that 56% of parents today, if they set rules, they don't hold the kids accountable to rules because they don't want to hurt their feelings. They don't want to upset them. Oh, please. So nobody rises by waiting for even conditions. You know, the things that push you is that you've got an uphill battle or that maybe someone's got an advantage. That is the glory of winning, is when someone may have an advantage. Someone's better than you. Is that not fair? No, maybe they worked harder. I don't know. Maybe they just have natural talent. Them being a step up, there's glory in that victory when you win it. It's wonderful. And most of the people crying unfair, they're not really fighting for injustice. They're fighting inconvenience or making excuses for a lack of production or accomplishment. Winners don't whine about fair. They adapt. And unfairness isn't why you didn't win. You didn't adapt. That's why you didn't win. The most successful people you'll meet, they've been handed an unfair hand. They've been overlooked, underpaid, underestimated. But instead of crying, that's not fair, all right, watch me anyway. Watch this. I can think of many times that in the tennis world, we've been outmatched. Many times. Defeated much better players. It wasn't fair that we won, honestly, because they were much better. But we did it up here. I can think of some intramural games in college where the tennis team had an intramural basketball team. Woo! Yeah, we were outmatched, but we outsmarted, outplayed, or outhustled. And that's the win is so much more rewarding when you do that. But the bottom line, just because life is not fair, that's no reason to stop. Don't give up. Don't quit. There's something to be learned here. And you may find out, it wasn't so much fairness is they were better than me. They were more qualified than me. I didn't want that anyway. Now that I didn't want to lead that team. Whoo! I know so many times that I've raised a daughter and I've raised a daughter. Psh, please. She half raised me. But a lot of times, I got 2 older sisters. I've been surrounded by women. And a lot of times, whether it's romance or relationships, things not being fair, thank goodness if that's what it was. You didn't want to be stuck with that loser. Thankfully, they've all done well. Saying that something's not fair, if it is cliche, okay. If you're serious about it, that's a problem because it's just a reminder that your response matters more than the situation. So grow up, show up, step up, because fairness is not going to come and save you. But your choices definitely can. Yeah, that waiting on some fairness to even it out, you're in the middle of it. No, come on, let's fight. Fairness is emotional. Timing is real, though. Here's a quick stat. In 2023, a survey found that 68% of Americans believe life rewards people who already have advantages. That's not just about fairness, it's about perception. 68%. Turn that around, 32 think that no, it's not about fairness. It's about grit and the fight and learning. So that's really not a very optimistic stat. But that same study found that nearly half admitted that they'd taken meaningful steps to change their situation. That's not unfair. That's not unfair. That is looking at something that's seen unfair and taking steps to change your situation. Even the table's out. Because a lot of times it is up here. You think, hey, it's not fair, but I'll keep going. And then before long, you're not using that excuse as much. It's less unfair. So that's cool. The thing about that is when you dig in, though, 68% said other people are rewarded because they have advantages. And then only half did something about it. And we need to get that number up, people. So let's think about fairness like playing cards, a deck of cards, okay? You're dealt a hand. You don't get to pick it. The dealer's dealing, shuffling. I live in Vegas, and so I don't play, but I see it a ton. Watch it on TV where they show you the cards, which is fair to me. However, you're dealt that. You don't get to pick your cards. Some people, hey, you got more face cards. Some people don't even get a pair. Some have nothing but a joker and a prayer. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's just what you're dealt. Then the table's still open. You can fold if you want. Life's not fair. I quit. I'm not even going to play. Or, hey, I don't want these cards, but I have something I can work with here. I'm gonna give these cards up and get some new ones to build on something I have here. That's a good attitude. The thing is, you stay in the game, and you may mess up, but you'll learn from it. I am a horrible card player. My friends, I don't even play blackjack with them because I don't know the game well enough, and I screw it up for everybody else a lot of times because I haven't taken time to do it. But you stay in the game, you'll learn. I see these people, it's great. They'll split and have two hands, and then they'll hit both, and then they really know how to take advantage of what looks like a normal hand to me. Now they've got two hands. Wow, they hit both of those. Now they doubled what I thought you had nothing there. That's the way it is a lot of times with us. Because I've seen people with nothing win big because they paid attention. They looked around. They know what the other people have. They know what's left in the dealer's hand. And then I've seen people have what seems to be a great hand and lose because they thought, okay, I got this. And they just quit trying. A lot of analogies about fairness in life and playing a hand of cards. The thing is, we need to, when we're looking at that hand, we'll talk about, you get 5 cards, 2 of them are stinkers, get rid of those. Trade them in. Try to get something better. Same way in your life. Let's trade in some resentment, some bitterness, some self-pity. Well, you got plenty of that. If you're saying life is unfair, you got plenty of that. Because that's just excuses dressed up as reasons. That's not wisdom. That's just weight. It's weighing you down. Trade that in. It may be, what comes back may be just as bad. However, it may be something that matches the good stuff. That's cards. That's life. And so a lot of it is around timing as well. You don't control what that dealer's going to give you. And also, he controls the timing. He or she. Yeah. So sometimes you're ready, but no. Hey, I want to see what I'm going to get. You got 4 or 5 people playing. You got to wait your turn. You're ready, but life is not quite ready for you yet. You've done the work. Okay, yeah, I know what to do. Okay, yeah. You've done the work. Now it's time to pray and plan and prepare so you're ready when that door opens. Why? Because sometimes getting what you want too early robs you of what you need. It does. Now, I'm talking about cards, and I'm not talking about cards, if you mean. It's a lot like cooking. You want a steak? You crank up the heat, you flip it too early, now it's overcooked on the outside and cold on the inside. I like a rare steak, but still, it's about timing. It's about sometimes you don't want to rush a good thing. In the steak, in the cards, that's not unfair. Yeah, you rushed it. It's a process. The more immature you are, you rush it. And by immature, I don't mean young. I know a lot of people my age that rush things. They try to get it too quick instead of letting it go. That's one of the biggest problems with cooking. I learned that early on in New Orleans with these nice ladies who taught me how to properly make a roux. Take your time. Don't crank that heat up and make it too fast. Don't you put that stuff in there until it's that right dark brown color. You know, you're going to have a dish you can eat, but if you want it to be right, you got to take your time. That's tough, man. Patience. I struggle with patience. A Harvard Business Review found that over 70% of professionals that were promoted before they were ready, burnout. They felt like they didn't deserve it, imposter syndrome, or job dissatisfaction. All of that happened within 18 months. You know why? They weren't ready. They weren't ready to handle it. They wanted the job. They wanted the title. They didn't want the job. So they got it. They weren't ready. Burnout. Or, over my head. Oh, I don't deserve this. They're going to find out I don't know what I'm doing. Or, it's just not what I thought it was. 18 months. 70%. Tried to rush it. Tried to beat that fairness moniker. Yeah. With timing, you're not being denied. You're being protected. Patience, I'm learning. Patience is not punishment. It's preparation. I've talked on this podcast many times about how I almost quit a company that was really good to me because I didn't get a promotion I wanted. I just decided to buckle down and do the job I'm in now. Boom. Before long, the right opportunity came along. 6 months later, it wasn't that long. And then boom, my career took off. Yeah, it wasn't fair. I'm more qualified. I tutored him. I tutored my manager because I was more qualified. The dealer wasn't ready. And you can't blame the dealer. You got to shift your mindset a little bit. You get mad at the dealer. Oh, he's dealing bad cards. I've heard that. Oh, that dealer, just bad cards. That's like a comedian saying it's a bad crowd. Oh, I don't like that. One of my pet peeves is when we go to shows and, it's a band up there and you're paying money to see them and they complain because the crowd is dead. Brother, it's your job to get us pumped up. If we're not acting like you want, do something that's worth that. So don't blame the dealer. Life deals the hand. You make the play. You decide if you can take that chance and turn that bad hand into something more. You can't guilt life or the dealer into changing the rules just because, hey, it's Dave here. I don't know if you noticed, but I deserve maybe a couple of more aces here. Yeah. But you can grow into somebody who wins regardless of the odds. Oh, have you seen the master bluffers? So the dealer deals the cards and the skill of the person with the hand. He's not playing the dealer necessarily. Well, some things he is. The poker with the different people. Act like it. Act like you're a winner. Act like your hand is worthy. And other people who may even be more qualified, have a better hand, they may fold. It's how you carry yourself. Yeah. Is that fair? It's just as fair as life. Life is a game you play. It's how you carry yourself. So you got to read the room. Watch for tell. I saw a thing the other day, and I'm not a big Andre Agassi fan, but when he beat Boris Becker at Wimbledon after Becker had won it twice, he beat him, and Boris had a huge serve, and Andre's return was dead on, and he said Boris had a tell. He noticed because he'd stick his tongue out, and he would notice when he's about to serve, if his tongue was in the middle, he was going down the middle, and if it was, Boris didn't even know he was doing it, but if it was to the outside of his mouth, he was going to go wide. And so Andre was just looking at his tongue and knew right where to go. Boris had a tell. Other people in life around you, whether it's playing poker or it's just in the world, they have tells. Look around. Read the room. Play smart. Play smart. And quit saying it's not fair when the game gets tough. Nobody wants to win a game they don't want to play. Life is not this entity that is out to get you. Quit playing the victim. It's not out to help you either. You've got to do this yourself. It's just waiting to see. I like that. I like it. I like to think of life as it's watching us. God, the universe, it likes to see who's putting forth the effort. It's like we're horses or something, and life is up in the stands, and it sees our performance and then starts betting on us. Yeah, this guy works hard. This guy doesn't get down. This guy doesn't make excuses. I've seen this guy go through some tough stuff before. You know what? I'm going to bet on this guy. That's what you want, and then that builds confidence. So, let's talk about it. How do we play the hand we've got? The hand that's been dealt us, and win. We'll just stick with this. I'm in Vegas. I feel like talking about cards. I don't know why. The first thing you got to do, you've heard about people counting cards. And when you do that, you're comparing your struggle to someone else's highlight reel. And we've talked about that in social media and all these other things. When you see somebody else and you see somebody else with a better hand or better odds, or the way they're acting, it appears they have a better hand. That paralyzes you when you don't know. You don't know what it really is. You just know how they're acting. So you don't know what their deck really is. And also in life, you don't know what it cost them. People that compare themselves to a neighbor or to someone who's got what you think you want, you don't know what that costs them. My wife often asks, how can they afford that? Obviously, their credit is good enough. Or maybe he hit it big. Maybe he deserves it. Maybe he has had a tough time and worked through it and found his way. But let's not compare our hand to theirs, because we can only play this hand. I'm not going to count their cards. Also, trade in what's not working. Like we said before, you get new cards. Every hand, they deal you new cards. You're going to give up the dead ones, bad attitude, that whole victim mentality, regret, resentment, excuses. And you'll try to make those excuses reasons and logic. Trade those in, give them away. They're holding you back. Get rid of them. They will never turn into something good in this hand. And then you got to know when to fold. You go, oh my goodness, I can hear Steve and my wife right now. They used to be in the garage. Every time The Gambler would come on, they would sing their duet. You got to know when to hold them. It's horrible. It's turned me against Kenny Rogers 90%. Yeah. Sorry, Kenny. But you got to know when to fold and then when to reset. When a hand's over, okay, the next hand, brand new cards. Brand new cards. Okay? However, that's not the reason to fold quickly every time. Get rid of the dead, bring it in, and be strategic. Know what you're going to do with them. Get the equivalent of a life analogy would be fold that old version of you, the one that made mistakes, the stuff that brought dead weight, that life isn't fair and I have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Any toxic patterns, any triggers that trigger the worst part of you or make you do things that always hold you back. And the thing is, when you get rid of those cards, when you get rid of those traits, when you get rid of those bad habits that take up time, you've made space for something better. You got 5 cards, you give away 2. You got 3, you get 2 more. It's a totally different situation. Same way with your attitude and your time. If you spend a lot of time doing bad habits, you get rid of those. These pockets of time that are given you are fantastic. And 2, think about it. In a few talks ago, we talked about reacting or responding. Good players, they don't react. You notice they put the glasses on, they have the same look on their face, they try not to have any tails, but they will respond. And their response is call, raise, all in, whatever. That's a response. That's not a reaction. A reaction is, oh, that's not fair. Don't do that. Respond with a reaction. Observe. Calculate your next move. And only raise when you have the odds. Be in control of yourself. You can't control everything, but you can control yourself. And the good card players, they're on point. They know, and they compartmentalize. That was that hand. I have these chips. This is this hand. Yeah. And I said earlier, watch for tells. Watch for tells in yourself as well. Jealousy. Someone else's jealousy. Okay, that's a clue. All right, maybe if I think life is not fair and this person has it so much better than me, look for their tells. I'm not quitting. I'm not folding. I'm gonna do well, but you'll see tells to where, you know what? It's not about them. Because I think I've been dealt an inferior hand. No, I'm seeing tells here. They have some jealousy. They have some regret. They have some resistance. Okay, maybe these hands are a little more equal. But also, I've got to see that in myself. Any of my tells or what's really going on, and get rid of the bad stuff. Yeah. Pay attention. The game gets easier to read. People get easier to read. And life, it's a more level playing field than what you think. And then you've got to respect timing. Timing is tough to learn because timing and patience go hand in hand. Think about it. We're not just playing for today. I can win today, but I got a lot more life to live. I want to think about 5 years from now. I'm thinking about 6, 7 years from now. Things that I'm going to do today that's going to make situations better then. If I don't prepare, then it doesn't mean life is not fair. I didn't do my part. Yeah. And if I'm a little behind right now, if you're a little behind right now, make it because you're preparing. Not because life's not fair. It's not because you got bad cards. No, you're preparing. The average age of first-time successful entrepreneurs, what is the average age? Successful first-time entrepreneurs. 45. It's not 22. It's not 30. 45. And that's now. And I know, you've got a lot of people. Well, what about these .com people or these influencers and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, those numbers are in there. Yeah, those numbers are in there. 45. So it's not too late. I like to think it of, I'm marinating. My patience and my humility is marinating. Oh, and it's going to be delicious. Let's just think about it. People say it was never in the cards. I've met people with nothing and built empires. My grandfather had never made much money, but accumulated a lot of wealth. I've seen people with everything and see them 2 years later and, oh my goodness, they lost it all. I had a neighbor who was a bit of a turd in Orange County, and he was living high on the hog. Yeah, he had 2 or 3 Mercedes and had houses all over the place. He did. He got caught up in that interest-only scam. And we found out later, I thought, wow, man, the deck is stacked in his favor. The truth was he had a lot of interest-only houses. He got greedy, held on to them. That variable rate kicked in. He lost all of them, including his, and his cars were leased. So he was bluffing. And I don't take any happiness in seeing his downfall. I'm just saying a lot of people thought, life isn't fair. He's got all of that. So it's never about the cards. It's never about the cards. It's never about the dealer. It's about how it's played. I'm talking cards, I'm talking life. And how you stay in the game. You don't need fairness. You need grit. You need strategy and a plan. You need some humility because you're going to get it. You need patience for sure. But you got to have a fire and a willingness to keep playing. Because if you're still breathing, if you're still at the table, you're still in. You still got chips to play. You don't need you don't need a royal flush to bail you out. No. You just need a reason to stay at the table. One chip will get you in a hand. So play. You got to play. And play with the attitude of, I'm going to keep playing. I may lose a hand. I may do something silly, but I'm going to keep playing. And play like the hand you've been dealt is the one you want. Play that way. Others are looking. Others are watching. Because you know what? It may be. You may get rid of 4 cards, and the 4 new cards you get, oh, wow, that's it. But you got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. And when they ask you later, how did you win? Hopefully, you can say, I stopped expecting fairness. I stopped asking for what's fair and started asking just for the cards to keep coming. It's so important. So a lot of feedback I'm getting is with people. It's going through a tough time, man. It's going through a tough time. You know, the cards right now they don't look good. And you're running out of chips in your mind. However, you're focused on the other players, how everybody else's hand is better than yours, about how you're running out of resources. And all that time is wasted because you're not thinking about, here's what I can do. What have I learned? The next time I'll do this. That's it. Keep the cards coming. Keep playing and quit worrying about fairness in everything. Hope it helps. I'm excited to get this out to you. I'm really excited about turning the corner on some of this with some people. I've got some blips in my master class on making a good place better, because a lot of people, they still hold on to that. It's back there. When we dig into the weeds, what keeps coming back, they've got that chip on their shoulder. And what they don't realize is it's not there anymore. And you take that away, it's, oh my goodness, what have I got to blame it on? You're in such a better place, you don't even realize it. And they lose their gratitude. When you're talking about things not being fair, you're losing gratitude that's right before you. So hit me up. You know my email, david@otalks.com, david@otalks.com. Check out the website. Got a lot of stuff going on. We're busy, but we're happy. We're playing the hand that's been dealt. And you know what? It's pretty fair. So tell me what you think. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on. And thanks for talking with Dave. Giddy up.